How's it going, everybody? The voice of Ed Ricker here. So this is just going to be an audio commentary on my last video, the Pro versus Zoom comparison, Mavic 2. We're going through a couple different pieces of footage here, also a few pieces of footage that were not in that video. A lot of you had questions, comments, suggestions on how to better compare the Mavic 2 Zoom versus the Pro. So we're going to go a little more in depth here and really analyze some of these clips a little bit more. Now, some of you asked what song that was that I was playing. It was Reversed Beginning by Luax, and I'm not sure if that's how you really say Luax, but you can see it on the screen here. So let's jump right into it. First of all, I wanted to highlight the fact that these two drones look kind of similar in terms of quality on YouTube. Now, YouTube does have a lot of compression and everything, so it's not like we're seeing the exact, raw footage. But for right now, the most immediate thing that I noticed that's different is the white balance. Yes, I was using a sunny white balance for both the Zoom and the Pro, and the Pro has a much warmer image, kind of yellowish even, whereas the Zoom is more cold, a colder color temperature with the same apparent white balance setting. So that's a little strange to me. Some of you say you like one, some of you say you like the other. I think the sweet spot may be in the middle. I think that the Zoom right now looks almost too cool, and I think that the Pro looks almost too warm. I do wonder though if DJI will release a firmware update that can kind of give us some white balance that's a little more standard across the board here. Another thing that we see is that the Pro at 4K may not look quite as sharp as the Zoom, and if sharpness is what you're going for, then take that into consideration. But for me, I don't know if I really prefer extreme sharpness over the other advantages you might get with the Pro, such as an increased dynamic range and certain other functions. The Zoom does have a very sharp 4K at 0 sharpness value. You can raise the sharpness value on the Pro and you might be able to get something similar. So it's not like that's a deal breaker or anything, but at the standard default sharpness level, the Zoom does seem to be a little bit sharper. Now, I've said in past videos that sometimes to get more of a cinematic feel, you may not want an extremely sharp image. When you watch movies and you're in the cinema, you don't see an incredibly sharp image. So I'm not sure if I'm really losing the characteristic that I'm looking for when I see a less sharp Pro clip. I think that's just a personality of the drone, and you just have to take that into consideration. Now, the Zoom has a couple settings that set it apart, and the Pro has a couple settings that set it apart. Obviously, the Zoom has the 2x optical plus the 2x digital zoom for a total of 4x. However, the Pro has the full field of view and the high quality 4K settings. So at its widest angle, the Zoom has a 24mm or about 83-degree field of view. The Pro version has two different 4K settings. One is called full field of view and one is called high quality. The full field of view is about 28mm or 77 degrees field of view, and the HQ or the high quality version punches in even more into the camera sensor for 55-degree field of view. So we're definitely punching in there about 1.4 times into the image with high quality mode. Now, if we want to really see the detail here, I'm going to zoom in 400% on the image. Here's full field of view mode, 77 degrees. And here is HQ, high quality mode, 55 degrees. I'm flipping back and forth here, and you can definitely see high quality is a little bit sharper. And if we put them side by side, high quality definitely stands out as getting more detail. Now, since the 4K full field of view mode is still a little bit wider, I'm gonna have to zoom in even more to get the exact same framing. So that would be 560% with the full field of view mode or 400% with the high quality mode, and together we're getting the same exact framing. And you can definitely see high quality mode is jamming a lot more information into this image. It looks a lot clearer. So at the expense of losing field of view, we're getting a much more detailed picture. This is the Mavic 2 Zoom, and we are shooting in 4K, and we're using optical zoom from 24mm to 48mm. So 2x optical zoom right here. Then we switch to HD, so we can now get that 2x optical to 2x digital zoom for a total of 96mm. So then I took the Mavic 2 Pro full field of view mode, and I zoomed into its 96mm equivalent, or 343% digital zoom here on the computer, to see what that would look like. And flipping back and forth, we definitely have a clearer picture with the zoom, digitally zoomed in plus optically zoomed in to 96mm versus the 4K full field of view digitally zoomed in to the same equivalent millimeter. The zoom is much clearer at this digital zoom level. Unfortunately, I did not use the 4K HQ mode with the Pro in this particular environment. I kind of wanted to get in and get out because I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be there at all. So I didn't think of it. That would have been a great test. Maybe that's for the future. But for now, we can definitely see that the zoom with optical and digital zoom is actually much clearer than punching in with the Mavic 2 Pro in 4K full field of view mode. Here we are at the water. We're following this boat. This is the Mavic 2 Pro. 2.7K resolution, 60 frames per second, slowed down to 40% of original speed. And then we also have the Mavic 2 Zoom following a similar boat at similar speed. Now, the image is cropped in here because I did not blow up the image to fill the frame. Since this video is exported at 4K, I'm keeping it at the original resolution that it shows. So they both look pretty good, pretty comparable, but I'm going to zoom in here and see if we can get a comparison of the boats. So on the left is the Zoom, on the right is the Pro, and we are 400% digitally zoomed in on these 2.7K clips. And they're playing side by side. They look pretty similar. I would say that they're a little overexposed on the white. Since we're zoomed in so far, we're showing just the boat and the waves, so it's a little more apparent that these waves and these boats are a little overexposed, and it wasn't quite so prominent in the wider framing when we were not zoomed in. But I would say that the Pro version maybe is a little cleaner. I wouldn't say it's necessarily too much sharper, but it just looks like a bit of a cleaner image, a little less noise that we're noticing. And we've zoomed in 400% on these clips right here, and now 800%. And at 800%, I think we can start to see the houses in the back look a little bit cleaner. The edges and the lines of everything look a little more solid on the Pro version. But again, it's not an extreme difference, you know. I think that we're also seeing a little bit of the dynamic range kind of show through here in the Pro, but yeah, not a huge difference. Here we are with some pictures. This is the Mavic 2 Zoom, 4000 by 3000 resolution, which is the max size here. And then we have the Mavic 2 Pro of a similar framing. I wouldn't say it's exact, but it's close. But we're gonna punch in 800% on the Zoom image and 800% of the Pro image. And we can see that we've punched in even more just because of the narrower field of view of the Pro. But now we're gonna do a side-by-side 800% punch in on both. And we can see that it looks a little cleaner on the Pro side. I would definitely say that the lines are a little stronger, not quite so much blurriness on the right. And now if we punch in to 960% on the Zoom image, now we have the exact same framing, or at least the exact same field of view, and we can see that everything is of similar size, and we can really see that there's a lot more detail on the Pro version. Looks a lot cleaner. So for photos, it appears that the Pro is winning even more substantially than in video. So in conclusion, I know there are a ton of other ways to compare these two drones, and I can't go through every type of footage combination, but I think we're seeing here that the two cameras are very, very similar in terms of quality. I mean, white balance aside, I think that we're seeing that there's not a huge difference between the two cameras, which is a little disappointing. You know, I was hoping there was more of a difference that would justify having one camera with a zoom lens and one camera that was supposed to blow the other one out of the water without the zoom lens. And it really makes me think that when we take value and functionality into consideration, the Mavic 2 Zoom is the winner, especially because it's cheaper than the Pro. I think that if you get a Zoom, you're going to be very happy with it. Of course, the Mavic 2 Pro is also a great choice if you're trying to squeeze that last little bit of quality out and really make your productions the most detailed and best they can be in terms of a visual quality. But with the Mavic 2 Zoom, you can accomplish 90% of what you're getting with the Pro. I'm pretty convinced. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Also, if you're interested, check out my Adobe stock contributor portfolio. It has over 400 of my clips that I've shot with the Mavic Pro, the Mavic Air, the Phantom 4 Pro, all these other types of drones. So if you're looking to get some stock footage for your production, go ahead and check them out. Happy flying, everybody.